recently my local gun shop acquired a collection, and there were some old 45 cartridges. There was actually quite a bit of it, so anyway, I got 2 boxes of it. One box is in pretty rough shape, it's coming apart, and one's in pretty good shape. The tab is a little frayed, but the paper's intact. So I'm just going to put this one aside and kind of make this my collecting box. Anyway, so what we have here is we have 20 ball cartridge. It's 45 caliber, model of 1911. For automatic pistols, 45 model of 1911. Smokeless powder, cartridge lot number, and I think it's class 47 division 1 something 5. Anyway, muzzle velocity 800 plus or minus feet per second. I'm just looking for any other markings that might perhaps be on here. And then if you flip to the back, as soon as possible after firing, decap the shells and throw them into water. Just going to pull the tab back and expose the ammunition. And it is clear to see this is old ammunition. Now this is supposedly from 1918, so we have 96-year-old ammunition here. So let's just pull around out and have a look at it. Which is really funny to look at this, because I'm going to pan up to a poster I have up on the wall, and except for the luster and the finish on the bullet itself, they're remarkably similar to something that I have on one of my posters. So the ammunition actually seems to be in pretty good shape. There's some real good discoloration, and I'm wondering how effective those primers are after, you know, 90 plus years of storage. And there it is, Remington UMC 18. And I will try to zoom in on that 18 for everybody to see. It might be a little hard to see. I'm going to turn up the light and change the exposure here a bit. The brass is in remarkable shape. This one here, quite good. It'll be interesting to fire a few of these off and see how they cycle. See if they do in fact work and if the powder is intact. But if they were stored right, I think the powder will be intact. The question is the quality of the primer in these. So here's our ammo. And it's got this fiberboard separating it, so they're well packed. Anyway, I have a sudden hankering to move to a place where a Thompson gun's legal. Okay, so I have 2 bullets pulled aside. I'm just going to so I have two rounds pulled aside. I'm just going to put one in my bullet puller, and we'll have a quick look at what we get. And there we go. So you can see after pulling it, I lost just a touch of powder, but I have a powder that doesn't look too much different than 231, frankly. And I have some sort of jacketed lead bullet here, and there is a jacket on it. and the lead inside is, you know, it's malleable, so there's a harder surface on the outside, so I'm not sure what that material is. It's lead appearance, so maybe perhaps somebody that's a little more knowledgeable can tell me, especially with that era of ammunition, what that coating would be or how it was jacketed. Well, actually it just looks quite familiar. A very clean case. I'm just going to put this back together and put it through my 45 press. Got some powder that looks quite similar, perhaps just not quite as uniform as 231. It looks like perhaps it's been crushed down a little bit more over the years. It's a very good shape, very clean case. And then we have the bullet. You can see a thin painted black line, which I suspect is some sort of waterproofing, along with, of course, the very noticeable crimp line. Okay, so I'm not sure if the camera is showing that or not, but that's coming in at about 5 grains even. Now I probably spilt 0.1 grain of that. It was fine and it came out of the top of the bullet puller. Pretty much contains, I'll just pull it out where it's in focus here. That 1918 case pretty much contains the load that I use today when I am getting my 1911 ready. So tomorrow I will load 7 of those up into a 1911 magazine, and out of tradition I'll make sure it's a 7-round magazine. Perhaps I can do that now and get ready to go to the range. Visually inspect them. I'm going to pass on that one for now. There's 2. That's quite nice looking. It's kind of a beauty contest right now. There's 4. 5. Shut the camera off there. Whew. Alright, I have the range to myself, so I figured I'd take advantage of it. And I have my Remington R1 and a 7-round mag filled with 96-year-old 45 ACP ammo. So I got the target paced out to 15 yards. I'm going to take a few shots and see if this stuff still works, and if it does, let's just see how effective it is. I tell you one thing, I'm not going to stand in front of it, that's for sure. I guess I wouldn't want to be a World War I zombie. 96-year-old ammo. Yeah, the accuracy kind of sucks on that. There's just an ever so slight delay. But, I mean, that is 100-year-old ammo. Okay, so this is how the gun shot. I actually shot 12 rounds at it, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on paper. The shooting was jerky. Actually, I think these 2 as well. I was aiming for here for the last 5, and here for the first 5. So anyway, so I'm just going to put a few through normal rounds, some reloads, and just to show a comparison. So just going to patch these holes up. Alright, so those are the results I'm getting off of normal reloads compared to the other 12. So anyway, so not a great shot, but I seem to be drifting high to the left. It is kind of close range though. It's 15 yards, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds. Not a bad group if I could move it down a little bit. Since I was running that old ammunition through my 1911, here I have the R1 stripped down. I gave it a good cleaning afterwards. It was fair bit of carbon residue. Alright, so here's just some of the brass from the range. What I wanted to do is just compare 3 of the different types of pieces of brass that we saw today. Alright, so I'm going to take away most of the surplus stuff and just leave one surplus, one reload, and one of the commercial pieces of brass that I got from Norinco. Now the Norinco one, as you can see, the hammer strike was pretty good. The brass from the reloads, pretty good hammer strike. Not quite as deep as the Norinco ones, but close. But the primer on the 96-year-old ammo just seems quite hard, and it hit it. But you can just see that the mark was just glancing. Just go through a few more of them because some of them struck better than that. That one there, as you can see, it did hit it, but you know. A better strike on this one, but still not as deep as these. Now part of that is I am shooting out in the cold in Canada, so I'm sure if it was warmer that would have been a better strike. And then there's another one with a light strike as well. So some of the inaccuracy was just the rounds themselves, but some of it was that I was after it shot there was a slight delay, and then I was pushing the gun down a little bit. The Remington Arms Union Metallic Cartridge Company, Inc. knew how to make ammunition. Look at that stuff, 96 years old. Wow. I was going to run it through the chrono, but my friend wasn't out at the range, or we missed each other today, and we're starting to get into colder weather, and I got to travel for work, so I probably won't get a chance to do it for 2 weeks. So I will post those results either on a quick video or in annotations. So you got to see the ammunition. It actually functions. It's a little bit flinchy. It's the primers are the only thing that are suspect on it at all, and everything worked. And for 1911, you know what? That's pretty cool that it functioned on all 7, well actually 12 shots.